You are in war, but not against the world. The real fight is inside you. Your mind is either your weapon or your defeat. Your body is either your ally or your prison. I did not become Bruce Lee through luck. I created Bruce Lee. I was weak. I was questioned. I was informed that I was going to fail. Not accept limits, and neither must you let me instill in you lessons that will permanently alter your self-image. You hear folks say, I can't do that. I can't be this. But who told you that? Where did the limits come from? Most of the time. There are most of the time. There are no limits. They are beliefs, invisible chains you place on yourself. You are not too weak, too slow, or beyond the point of where it's too late. The only thing that's keeping you from moving forward is the thought that you can't move forward every time you say to yourself, I can't. Your mind is listening. It builds a wall around you, and over time, that wall becomes jail. But here's the truth. There is no wall. There is no jail. You have the key within you to set yourself free. Start small every day. Push a little more than yesterday. If your body is tired, do one more rep. If your mind is saying, stop, take one more step. If fear is saying, quit, face it, Eden. The instant you push beyond what you believed was possible, you demonstrate to yourself that limits are an illusion. Comfort is the real enemy. It whispers, stay where you are. It's simpler, but the individuals who hear comfort never develop. They remain the same year after year. If you desire to be strong, if desire to be powerful, you need to get uncomfortable. You must step into the unknown. You do not need to take a great leap today, just a single step and then another one. For as soon as you start breaking barriers, you find something that are non-human beings that spend whole lives following rules. They never questioned doing things, traditions that they never learned, and believing concepts that they never questioned. They assent to things being the way that they were taught to them. But have you ever paused, stopped, and wondered, do you think this really is the best way to do? Many people fail, not through a lack of effort, but because they waste their energy on things that are not to their benefit. They hold on to ideas, habits, and systems that were never meant for them in the first place. They try to fit into someone else's mold instead of molding their own. And I never dogmatically followed martial arts style. I took what worked from each field: boxing, fencing, Wing Chun, wrestling, and leaving behind what didn't. That's how I developed Junu, and that's how you need to develop yourself. The world will attempt to dictate to you what to think, how to behave, and who to be. But you need to sit through everything, take what is useful, discard what is unnecessary, and make something that is distinctly your own. So how do you do this? Start with what you consume daily. The books you are reading, the advice that you take, the habits that you maintain. Are they truly helping you to improve, or are you stagnant? If a thing is standing in your way, release it. If a habit is weakening, you destroy it. You have to be ruthless in weeding out what does not benefit your self-improvement tomorrow. Take knowledge from anywhere. Do not limit yourself to one way of thinking. Learn from other cultures, other domains, other perspectives. I've absorbed the wisdom of warriors, thinkers, and masters throughout history. Each piece of advice is a tool. The more tools you have, the better you can shape yourself finally. Do not just copy what others have done. Do not just follow the path that is already laid out. Develop your own voice, your own way of thinking, your own philosophy. You are not here to be a copy of someone else. You are here to be the best version of you. Most people spend their lives being photocopies when they were meant to be originals. But the ones who stand out, the ones who stand out, the ones who leave a mark on this world are the ones who absorb discard and construct fear is the greatest liar you will ever meet it. Whispers in your ear, telling you that you are not ready, that you are not good enough, that if you try, you will fail. And so, most people listen. They wait. They hold back. They wait for the perfect moment, a moment, but never comes. But here's the truth. Fear is not real. It is a thought, a prediction, an illusion generated by your mind. It only has power if you believe it. What happens when you let fear dominate you? You get caught up. You don't take your dreams, dreading the challenge, rather than facing it, and slowly your universe shrinks. The things you once dreamed of are too far away. You start telling yourself, maybe I wasn't meant for more, but that is a lie. Do you know what fear actually is? It is a signal, a sign that you are on the brink of something great. Fear does not say, stop. It says, this is where you get larger. Every great thing that you want, confidence, strength, mastery, success, lies beyond the other side of fear, but you will never arrive there. If you keep fleeing, watch a child learning to walk. They fall and fall and fall and fall. They do not cry about it. They do give up. They don't think, perhaps walking is not my thing. They persevere until they master it. Since failure doesn't exist for a child, they don't fear it. They learn from it. But as we become older, we tend to fear failure. We avoid risks. We quit going for what we want because we don't want to be stupid, afraid of failing, afraid of losing. But really, the only accomplishment of failure is not trying at all. The greatest warriors, the greatest brains, the greatest leaders, none of them did it without failure. I became Brute, Bru Lee, because never made any error. I became Bruce Lee because never let failure be the best of me. Every time I got defeated, I rose wiser, stronger, better. What do you do first? Stop fearing failure, expect it, welcome it. Every time you fail, you move closer to mastery. Every error betrays you of something. The only ones who never failed were those who never even attempted to cry. Second face, fear directly due the things that scare you speak. When your voice shakes, move forward. When uncertainty happens in your mind, practice. When your body is ready to quit, the bigger you take the step of fear. The weaker it becomes, soon you will be able to see. It was never true at all. At all. And finally, remember, this fear is temporary. Regret is forever. If you allow fear to hold you back now, years from now, you will glance back and ask myself, what may I have been? What may I have done? And by then, it will be too late. So do not wait. Do not hesitate. Run towards your fears. Break through them. And when you do, you will find something incredible waiting for you on the other side, your true self. Your body is only as strong as your mind makes it. The greatest warriors in history weren't strong in the flesh. They were strong in the mind. They could endure pain, push past exhaustion, and battle against impossible situations, because their minds were trained for war long before their bodies ever stepped onto the battlefield. Most people train their muscles, but never train their thoughts. They pump weights, but carry weak beliefs. They refine their bodies, but keep their minds stupid. And when adversity comes, AC grumble, not because they are weak in body, but because their minds have not been conditioned to bear struggle. Your mind is a tool, and just like any tool, it must be forged, sharpened, and tested. The first step in conditioning your mind is to command your thoughts. Most people are controlled by their own negative believing. They say things like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough. What if I fail? These are poor thoughts each time. You think this way, you weaken yourself. You must swap out these thoughts with having strong beliefs when your mind tells you, I can't you tell it? I will figure this out. When doubt slips in you, remind yourself, I'm stronger than this. You must rewire your thinking, turning fear into fuel, obstacles into challenges, and pain into progress. Next, you must train your focus. Most people allow their mind to be unruly, going from one distraction to another. They waste hours on useless information, scrolling endlessly, devouring trash that deteriorates their mind instead of energizing it. A warrior doesn't waste time. A warrior hones his focus like a sword, sharp, keen, and unstoppable. How do you do this? Start by stopping distractions. Stop filling your mind with irrelevant noise. Read books that make you more powerful. Surround yourself with thoughts that challenge you. Nourish your mind with wisdom, not weakness. If you cannot dominate your focus, you will never dominate your future. You also need to train your resilience. A weak mind gives up when things are difficult. A warrior's mind cracks. There will be days that you will think of giving up when the hurting is much, when the goal is too distant. This is when your training will be pushed. Will you shatter, or will you keep pushing on the way to develop? Toughness is simple, do difficult things every day. When you don't wish to train harder. When your brain tells you to give up, push harder. When fear tries, hold you step forward anyway. Every time you take action, your brain becomes tougher. You toughen harder to break finally. You have to establish unbending discipline. Motivation is weak, it passes and returns as the wind. But discipline is the foundation of mastery. It is waking up and getting what needs to get done no matter how you are feeling. It is choosing action over excuses, progress over comfort, and purpose over pleasure. Discipline is not natural. It is something you build one day at a time, one decision at a time. Every time you show up, every time you'll show up, every time you're not going to quit, every time you struggle with something, you're toughening your brain to be unbreakable. A warrior doesn't make. In one day, he's tempered by fire, battle, and struggle. Your brain has to go through the same thing, They toughen. It tests it, because in the end, the best weapon you will ever be able to use is your fists, not your body, but your mind. And if you can control it, there is nothing in the world that can hinder you. Water is the most powerful force of nature, not because it is powerful like stone is powerful, not because it is stiff like metal is stiff like metal is stiff, but because it is adaptable. It can take any form. That it can be soft enough to pass through your hands, but tough enough to wear down mountains. It can walk patiently or blow with force. This is how you must train your body and mind. Do not be tough like a rock that breaks under pressure. Do not be rigid like a tree that breaks in the storm. Be like a water, always flowing, always changing, and always unstoppable. Most people fight against change. They do not want things to remain the same. They hold on to what they know because it feels safe to them. But life does not care about your comfort. Life will throw obstacles in your way. It will change rules. It will push you in the opposite directions of what you expected. The weak panic. They complain. They want things to be like they were. But warriors do not fight against change. They move with it. If water is stopped by an obstacle, does it stop? Number. It goes over, under, around, through. If you wish to be strong in life, you have to do the same. When something goes wrong, don't waste energy resisting. Reality bend. When life pushes, you don't break. Under pressure, flow through it. Find a way forward. The strongest are not those who remain stationary. The strongest are those who move, adapt, and conquer no matter what transpires. Some individuals here be water, and they believe that it means to be passive, to be weak, to just go wherever life may take. But this is not what it means. Water is not weak. Water is one of the most destructive forces on earth. It ruins cities, slices through rock, and turns into ice so strong that it can shatter steel. Being water does not mean to give up. It means knowing when to be soft and when to be hard. When the situation calls for patience, be soft, move peacefully, flow easily. When the situation calls for action, be a storm strike, hard crash through everything in your path. A stiff person cannot do this. They know only one way to respond, but a warrior. To wait when to move, when to attack, and when to disappear like mist. Most people become trapped in their own owns. They think in just one way to be successful, one way to live, one way of doing things. And if that way does not work out, they break. This is why. You must train yourself to be receptive, to seeing things from different directions, to realize many ways, to never confine yourself to one approach. I never did just one kind of martial arts. I studied the best of everyone and came up with something new. If one way didn't work, I found another. I didn't let mind get stuck. You must do the same with everything during training, during thinking in life. Never think that there is only one way. Never let your mind get stuck. If something is not working, then change the approach you are taking, adjust, become formless, and you will never get stuck. Water doesn't always flow gently. Sometimes it becomes a storm wall. Sometimes it becomes a tidal wave and destroys whatever stands in its way. This is how you must be. This is how you must be when your time arrives, when you are working towards something, when you are chasing your dream, when you see your opportunity. Do not hesitate, do not strain, move like a flood. Burst through obstacles, overwhelm everything that is in your way. Because when you are like water, nothing can stop you. If a rock is in your way, you do not break it. You flow around it. If a wall is in your way, you do not give up. You wear it down until it falls apart. If you are met with resistance, you do not retreat, you strike with force. This is why water always wins, because it never rests, it never allows anything to rest, and eventually it always manages to find a way. If you want to control your mind and body, if you want to be something that cannot be broken, you must learn to be like water when life. Tough flow through the toughness when things do not go as you want, adapt and adjust. When you meet an opponent, attack at the perfect moment. When hurdles roll in, go under, around, or through. When you see your chance, seize it with the force of a tidal wave. Most people are too soft and let life bully them, or too hard and break under pressure. But you must be different. You must control the balance. The world cannot stop water. And when you are like water, the world cannot hold you back. Discipline is the master of everything. It is the power that separates the weak from the strong, the ordinary from the strong, the ordinary from the extraordinary. The ones who dream from the ones who become. Most people fail, not because they are not talented, not because they lack potential, but because they lack discipline. They rely on motivation, and when motivation wanes, as it always will, they stop, they quit, they yield to weakness. But discipline is unbreakable. It does not rely on how you feel. It does not wait for the ideal moment. It does not make excuses. If you learn discipline, you learn everything. Motivation is like a spark. World other days you may be feeling exhausted, discouraged, and in the mood to slack. This is where discipline plays a role. It does not care how you feel. It does not ask, do you want to train today? It does not wait for a good disposition. Discipline is showing up when nobody else is looking. It is waking up early when you'd rather sleep. It is doing hard work When your body wants to rest, it is pushing yourself forward, even when everything inside you says stop. Most people let their feelings dictate their actions. They say, I don't feel like working today. I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's too hard. And so they stay in the same spot where they never develop, they never live up to their full potential. But the ones that thrive, they move forward in spite of circumstances. They train even when they are drained. They work even when they do not want to. They act even when uncertainty whimpers in their ears because they know discipline is not what you want at the moment. It is what you want most every day. You have a choice. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Discipline hurts. Waking up early. Waking up feel like it, pushing yourself harder than you want to say. No to distraction. Regret. Regret is worse. Regret is wishing you spent time. Regret is seeing chances you might have had, but didn't. Regret is realizing that you were capable of greatness, but you allowed it to slip away because you chose comfort over effort. Discipline is hard, but regret does not stop. Discipline is not inborn, it is something you build, and the only way of building is to get tough things done every day. Start small. Every day do something that challenges you. If your mind tells you to stop, keep going. If you want to be done at 10 reps, do 12. If you don't feel like doing a task, do it anyway. Discipline is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. And before you know it, things that seemed impossible will be second nature. You will wake up early without question. You will train hard without excuses. You will face challenges without fear because you have conditioned yourself to act. No matter weakness is always seeking a chance to dominate it. Starts with small decisions, skipping one workout, procrastinating one task, making one excuse, and before you know it, weakness becomes your master. Discipline is the only thing that can eliminate it. When your mind tells you, I don't feel like it, discipline tells you do it anyway. When excuses come up, discipline shuts them down. When distractions try to take you off track, discipline keeps you on. Weakness is a disease, and discipline is the cure. The stronger your discipline, the weaker your excuses become. The strongest people do not see discipline something they have to do. They see it as who they are. They don't say, I have to train. They say, I am a warrior, and training is what I do. They don't say, I have to work hard. They say, I am disciplined. I don't need motivation. I take action when discipline becomes part of your own identity. You do not wrestle with remaining consistent. You simply do it. Because it is who you are, most people assume that discipline is restriction. They believe that it means existing in a difficult, unenjoyable life, continually compelling yourself to accomplish things that you do not want to do. But this is not necessarily true. Discipline is the best expression of freedom. If you are in control of your body, you are free from being weak. If you are in control of your time, you are free from disorder. If you are in control of your moment, they allow themselves to be led by emotions, but they end up becoming slaves of their own flaws. Disciplined individuals. People discipline themselves. They are their own master, mind, body, destiny. And on this basis, they are free. If you overcome discipline, you can achieve anything. Strength, success, confidence, power. Everything is built on discipline. Do not wait for inspiration. Get moving immediately. Do not make excuses. Destroy them. Do not let weakness rule over you. Be strong. Because ultimately, discipline is the difference between the keepers of the status quo and the achievers. If you want to be unstoppable, unshakable, and truly great, make your master discipline. Your emotions are powerful. They can make you move forward or make you immobile. They can make you tougher or make you weak. The difference between a warrior and everybody else is control. Most people are slaves to their feelings. They react to everything. If they feel anger, they attack. If they feel sorrow, they leave. If they feel doubt, they give up. They allow their feelings to decide their actions, as opposed to choosing their actions, regardless of their feelings. But if you want to have command over your body and mind, if you want to be unstoppable, you need to know one thing: you need to dominate your emotions, or your emotions will dominate you. Most people think that managing emotions is all about holding them back, pretending they don't exist. That is not the way. You are human, and emotions will always be inside you. The idea is not to be emotionless. It is to be the master of your emotions and not their slave. A warrior doesn't hold back fear, anger, frustration, or pain. He knows them, feels them, but doesn't let them master his actions. Anger can destroy, but it can also drive you. Fear can paralyze, but it can also sharp up in you. Pain can break you, but it can also make you stronger. The difference is in how you utilize them. Most of the people are in reaction mode. Something occurs, and they react instantly in anger, fear, or frustration. But warriors do not react. They respond when someone mocks you. Do not react in anger. Keep calm, weak. Men, anger easily strong. Men control themselves. When you do something wrong, do not react with frustration. Learn from it. Weak people get emotional about failure. Warriors learn from it and come back stronger. When life throws roadblocks in your path, you don't respond with self-pity. Cope and move on. People complain warriors' condition. A response is emotional and instinctual. A response is unhurried and calculated. Be in command of your response. Responses, wrath is among the most destructive emotions. It has the ability to turn you careless, make you speak that which you should not speak, bring you to your senses in the heat of the moment. If rage gets the better of you, it will kill you. But rage is also energy. If you domesticate it, you can harness it to power your focus, your discipline, and your drive. The key is to direct rage, not stifle it when you feel rage building up. Do not blow channel it. Channel it into training, channel it into discipline, channel it into action. A warrior's anger will not make him reckless. It sharpens him. Fear is a trick. Your mind plays on you and convinces you. It makes everything appear worse than it is. It makes you hold back. It keeps you in place, too afraid. Move on. But the greatest secret regarding fear is this: once you venture into it, it vanishes. How many times have you been too afraid to do something, only to discover later it was never as terrible as you imagined? Fear only has strength when you evade it. The only way to conquer fear is to confront it head on. If you are afraid of speaking out, speak up more. If you are afraid of failing, fail quicker and learn from the experience. If you are afraid of going beyond your limits, push further. A warrior does not flee from fear. He moves into it and destroys it. Pain is something that every human being experiences: physical pain, emotional pain, the pain of loss, the pain of failure. But pain is not your enemy. Pain is a test week. People let pain break them. They complain, they quit, they seek ways to escape. But warriors take pain and turn it into power. Every great fighter has tested by hardship. Every great leader failed and suffered before winning. Every great mind has weathered trial by adversity. When you face suffering, don't run from it. Sit with it, learn from it. Let it toughen you. A warrior doesn't ask, why is this happening to me? A warrior asks, how do I use this to get stronger? You will not always want to train. You will not always want to work. You will not always be motivated, but this is where discipline must be stronger than emotion. Weak people say, "I don't feel like it." Warriors say, "I do it anyway." This is what makes the difference between those who become great and those who stay. The same warriors do what must be done, regardless of what you feel. If emotions attempt to sidetrack you from your objective, remain strong. If your head attempts to provide you with reasons not to proceed, press on. Despite anything, doubt comes to mind. Remember who you are and why you started. Greatest men aren't necessarily the men who lift the greatest weights. They are not the warriors who fight best. They are masters of themselves. If you can control your feelings, if you can put discipline above emotions, if you can convert fear into fuel and pain into power, then nothing is impossible. Most people are prisoners of their emotions, but warriors master. Warriors master themselves, and when you master yourself, you master everything. Every day you are making a choice of who you are, how you live, and what kind of person you become. Most people don't know, but their attitude, their routine, and their behavior are creating their fate right now. Some people flow through life without direction. They wake up, get through the day, and let life happen to them. They complain about situations, they complain about others, and they feel as if they have no control over where they turn out. But a warrior does not think that way. A warrior knows that he is entirely in charge of his life. He knows that who he turns out to be is not up to luck, not up to fate, not up to anybody else. It is up to him. The question is, who are you becoming? Nothing in life is an accident. The strongest minds, the best fighters, the most concentrated people, none of them reached their place by chance. They made themselves each exercise you perform, each book you read, each challenge you overcome. These are all bricks in your foundation of yourself. But the opposite is also true. Every time you skip workout, every time you choose comfort over effort, each time you let fear win back, these are also bricks, but they are building a weaker you. Every day you are choosing between two yous, the strong, disciplined, unstoppable you, the weak, lazy, excuse-making you. Which one are you nourishing? Many people report, "I will change someday. Someday I'll be stronger. Someday I'll be stronger. Someday I'll be more disciplined. Someday I'll take life seriously." But someday is an illusion. It does not exist. The only thing that is yours now is your future self. The man you aspire to be is not constructed later. He is being constructed in this moment now. Everything you do today is either drawing you closer to him or driving you away. If you keep waiting, if you keep procrastinating, you will wake up one morning and realize that someday never came, and by then it will be too late. Weak people wait for someone to come and change their life around. They wait for motivation, for the right time, for someone to guide them. But warriors own their own path. If you are not where you want to be, it is your responsibility to make it otherwise. If you are not as tough as you want to be, it is your responsibility to train harder. If your life is not where you want it to be, it is your responsibility to do something about it. Nobody is coming to save you. No one is going to do the work for you, and no one will care about your excuses. The world does not reward excuses. It rewards action. Too many people live their entire lives on the basis of what other people expect of them. They tread the line that society dictates. They pick a career, belief, fuel lifestyles on the basis of what other people believe is appropriate. And then one morning they find themselves staring in the mirror and do not even know who they are. You need to ask yourself, am I living what I want, or am I living the life that other folks expect out of me if you are not taking your own path. You are living someone else's dream instead of building your own. A warrior doesn't ask permission. He doesn't ask approval. He takes his own path and he walks it boldly at the end of your life. You will look back and see the choices that established the bitter truth. No one else can. And be held accountable other than you. If you are stern, it will be because you opted to be tough. If you are feeble, it will be because you opted to be weak. If you are fruitful, it will be because you chose to do so. If you are laden with regrets, it will be because you opted to stay where you are. The choices that you make today are deciding who you are going to be tomorrow. If you want to be a warrior, choose to be one. If you want to be disciplined, choose to be disciplined. If you want to die without regrets, choose to act now. Because in the end, the greatest battle that you will ever face is the battle for your own destiny. And only you can be the one who can win it. I was told I was too small. I was told I wouldn't succeed in Hollywood. I was told I wouldn't be successful. And yet, I am here, not because I happened to be lucky, not because I was somehow different, because I did what everyone else would not. You crave power. You crave power. You crave power. Mastery. You crave to overwhelm your mind and body. And remember, destroy your boundaries, soap shed, and instill fear, nothing in particular, failure. State your mind like a warrior. Be water flow and destroy regimen. Most importantly, rule over your feelings. Choose who will become the best. Struggle is not with the world, it is with yourself, and you must win. If this inspired you, like the video, share, and subscribe. Your journey to mastery starts now.